Autumn is not only the season for pumpkins, but is also the peak season for sweet potatoes and apples, which happen to be the main ingredients for our dish today, candied sweet potatoes and apples, 拔丝地瓜 and 拔丝苹果. 拔丝 is a cooking technique commonly used in Shandong and Northeastern Chinese cuisine. The dish will have a beautiful golden glossy sugar crust and is sweet and tasty, and when you pick up the food, you can pull out long strands of sugar. Therefore, it is called Basi, pulling strands. Ingredients and steps are very simple. For candied sweet potatoes, you'll only need some sweet potatoes, sugar, and oil. You can replace the sweet potatoes with any other root vegetables. First step is to fry the sweet potatoes. Peel the skin and cut the sweet potatoes into bite-sized chunks. Heat some oil. When the oil is hot, put in the sweet potato chunks and fry them until a crust is formed on the outside. Drain the oil and transfer them into a plate. Next step is to caramelize the sugar. Leave some oil in the pot, pour in the sugar. On a medium heat, heat up the sugar. After around 2 minutes, white sugar will start to turn brown and gradually melt. Turn down the heat to low. Stir it slightly so that the sugar can be heated evenly. Continue to stir and cook the sugar until it turns into an amber-colored syrup. And when it starts to bubble, our syrup is ready. Pour in the fried sweet potatoes. Coat each pieces with syrup. As you can see, there are already many sugar strands pulling while we mix. And our candied sweet potatoes are finished. Transfer them to the plate we used earlier because it had some oil on the bottom of the plate from earlier, so our candied sweet potatoes will not stick to the plate while we eat. Last step, decorate. This step is absolutely optional. The glossy sugar strands can be used as decoration. If you're going for a more sophisticated look of the dish, you can continue to heat up the syrup left in the pan on a low heat. Use a couple pairs of chopsticks, dip in the syrup and pull out some long strands of sugar and wrap it around the dish. And there you have it, 拔丝地瓜. Now we've got the basic Basi technique, let's make some candied apples. You can also sub with other fruits with low water content. First step is again to fry the apples. Peel and cut the apples. The only difference is that if you are making candied apples or any other fruits, compared with root vegetables, it has higher water but less starch content. So before we fry it, we'll need to coat it with some batter so it wouldn't get too moist and mushy. To make the batter, we'll mix the flour, egg, water, and oil. Blend them well into batter. Toss the apple cubes in some cornstarch, then dip into the batter. Heat up the oil, fry the apple cubes. We want to avoid over-frying the apples to keep its crunchy texture. So as soon as they become crusty on the outside, drain the oil and transfer them to a plate. Second step, again, we'll make the caramelized sugar. When the sugar is melted and caramelized, pour in the fried apple cubes. Mix them well. Optionally, garnish it with some sugar strands. And our beautiful and delicious candied apples and sweet potatoes are finished. They have a honeyed coating, and while it's hot, you can see many dangling sugar strings when you're trying to pick it up. Before eating them, you can dip those hot sweet potatoes or apple cubes in cold water to let them cool down and form a nice sugar crust on the outside. The caramelized sugar coating will get mixed up with the flavor of fruity apples and creamy sweet potatoes, bringing out different levels of sweetness in your mouth. Hope you like this dish and stay tuned for more Chinese food recipes like this.